Landlords in New York City are banning tenants from storing e bikes within the building because they are a huge fire hazard. Now, tenants are wondering where exactly they're going to put these bicycles. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over a topic I haven't covered before on this channel, and that's these e-bikes, right? Now, these things are really popular, not just in New York, but throughout the entire country, okay? Because they're actually pretty cool, okay? I'm a cyclist. I enjoy going cycling. I don't have an e-bike, but I considered buying one, right? And the problem, though, is that some of the lithium ion batteries within these bicycles, they're not up to standards. They're kind of volatile, and when they are being charged, they can explode. Okay, they can explode and cause huge out of control fires. Now imagine you have a place like New York City where a lot of the people, they live in these large apartment buildings, and they're storing these bicycles inside their unit. They're being charged, and they have these bad batteries within them. Well, the building can burn down quickly because these lithium ion fires, they are hot. Okay, I'm sure you've seen the videos of these fires taking place, and I mean, it is unbelievable just how hot they are, how fast they burn, how difficult they are for the fire department to put out, right? So what is the response from landlords? Landlords are banning them. Okay, they are banning them because they are a huge fire risk. And it's not just the landlord saying, hey, these things need to be banned inside the buildings. It's the insurance companies. The insurance companies paying after these buildings burn down. They are like, hey, these things are a huge fire risk. So we don't want them inside your building. And I can't blame them, okay? People have died. A lot of people have died due to these fires. And, you sit there and you have to weigh the pros and cons. And personally, human life comes first, okay? Your building comes second. And so, the convenience of the people who own the e-bikes, well, that's an afterthought. Their inconvenience, that's just too bad. They're going to have to figure something out because this is just not going to work going into the future. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you think. So I'm just curious, do you allow these, lithium ion battery powered e-bikes within your rental properties? Okay, now I know this might not be a big issue throughout the entire country and for smaller landlords with single family rentals, but even a single family rental, if you have these things within your property, it'll burn that thing to the ground so quick. Okay, now I'm going to throw a video up on the screen of some of these lithium ion fires so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen this before, and I'll show that to you right now.
Electric scooters and electric bikes bursting into flames. This guy is lucky to be alive. He hops off his electric bicycle just as the battery suddenly catches fire.
It was probably the scariest thing I've ever gone through.
Daniel and Linda Jones of Pittsburgh, California lost everything when they say their electric scooter burst into flames.
Not even a minute later, the whole front of the house is on fire.
In New York City, e-battery related fires are up a whopping 233% in just 2 years, resulting in 163 injuries and 10 deaths, including 5-year-old Erica Williams, who was killed when her apartment building in Harlem went up in flames.
All right, you saw the video. Let's get into the article. This article is coming from thegothamist.com, and it says, New York City e-bike owners wonder where to store them as landlords fear battery fires. Hey, protect your properties. Ban these things, okay? Honestly, it doesn't matter if, the majority of tenants have good, quality, high-end bicycles. All you need is one tenant with a bad one in there to destroy your entire property. People could lose their lives. So, in my opinion, the best thing you could do would be to ban them. Okay, so what is the solution for the people who need these e-bikes? Because a place like New York, an e-bike actually is probably one of the best ways to get around with its horrible traffic, with its extremely slow public transit. You can probably get around 5 times faster riding an e-bike than you could getting around. So what's the solution? Then that's what we hopefully can get into in this article. The most unwanted tenants these days in New York City buildings are electric bikes. An increasing number of landlords and management companies are putting the kibosh on residents keeping e bikes in apartments and bike rooms, even if they meet international safety standards. The crackdown comes as illegal or dangerous lithium batteries used in some e bikes, scooters, and mopeds have sparked 243 fires this year, killing 17 people, according to the city fire department. That's up from 30 battery fires and zero related deaths in 2019. So, as you can tell, right, since 2019, e bikes have gotten really, really popular. And just their popularity alone has led to there being a lot more of these fires. And now 17 people have lost their lives due to those fires. Okay. Whereas just 4 years ago, this wasn't even an issue. There were only 30 supposedly of these fires and zero fatalities. So yeah, I mean, this is a problem, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse, and even though landlords are going to attempt to ban these things from their buildings, people are still going to bring them in. They're just not going to tell their landlords. West Harlem resident J. Manuel Mancia once said he wants to buy a cargo e-bike but can't find a place to store one. The management company that runs his building, K&R Realty Management, has banned e-bikes, telling tenants in a letter that e-bike batteries are an extreme hazard to the life, health, safety, and well-being, body, and property of all tenants. Mancia is the co-founder of Uni, a startup that installs secure bike parking pods in public places, with locations in Jersey City and Grand Central Terminal, but none in Mancia's neighborhood. He said his landlord's ban on e bikes has left riders like him with zero options and zero alternatives. Yeah, I mean, you can't blame the landlord, though, looking at how the insurance companies are not going to insure the landlord if he decides he's going to allow it. And the fact that, I mean, most people don't want their buildings to burn down. Most people don't want people to pass away in these sort of fires. And simply put, saying that your bike is up to standards, right? Well, how do we judge which bikes are up to standards and which bikes aren't? It's much easier for us to just give a blanket ban, say that all of them are banned from our buildings, and that way we can at least say, hey, we don't have to face the liability of saying, oh yeah, we allowed that, knowing that possibly could be a fire hazard. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this isn't a good thing for the tenants, but at the same time, our hands are tied. Our hands are tied. We have to do what we have to do. Jay Martin, executive director of the Community Housing Improvement Program, which lobbies on behalf of roughly 4,000 owners of rent stabilized properties in New York, said insurance companies are squeezing landlords over e bike risks. Owners are incentivized to proactively be punitive against the renter on these batteries because they're frankly scared of losing their insurance coverage if it's found out they have renters who are bringing these batteries into the building, Martin said. Earlier this month, a fire the FDNY said was caused by an electric scooter battery killed three family members across three generations in Crown Heights and seriously injured a firefighter. So, yeah, I mean, just earlier, and I believe this article is written in the month of November, but earlier in the month of November, they had a fatal accident with one of these scooter batteries. So it's not like these things are uncommon. It should be obvious that, hey, the landlords, they can't take that sort of risk. The insurance companies can't take that sort of risk, and the tenants have to figure out what exactly they can do. And like, I was going through my head, what exactly would be the best option, and my thought was there had to be some sort of like a self storage facility that was not like where people didn't live, right? Like a building or a warehouse where you could store these things, charge them, and it be somewhat close to your home, but it not put people at risk of burning in the building, or burning a building where people actually live down. And maybe the building is also set up with sprinkler systems or fire containment systems that would be able to put these fires out in case they do happen. I mean, I know that that's probably not going to be possible in a place like New York. Okay, most of the buildings are older. Most of the buildings are not, they are mixed use, so they have, some self. It would have like some self storage with living units above it. So it doesn't seem likely that that would be a feasible solution for most people, right? But I mean, the only thing then would be just you would the people are going to do what they want to do. We know this. We know that they are going to say, okay, e-bikes are banned, but we're going to bring it into our house anyway and plug it in. So obviously, a ban by the landlord, a ban by the insurance companies is not going to stop the actual problem. It's not going to actually prevent people from being able to charge these things, because the landlord cannot keep an eye on all of their tenants 24 hours a day to make sure that they are following the law. I mean, we find all the time that people have drug labs and all sorts of illegal activities going on inside their units, right? So, yeah, this is definitely still going to be a problem going into the future. But, this is something that you should watch out for as a landlord, in my opinion. Okay. You should look out for tenants who have these things in your property, because, like, this is one of my gripes about even electric cars, right? Electric cars can have these same types of fires and have the same disastrous results. I've heard of, people's homes burning down and burning quickly, and fire departments having to use huge amount of resources to put out these extremely hot burning, extremely difficult to extinguish fires. So yeah, this is a big problem. What are you doing as a landlord to try to mitigate the issues with this problem? I know this isn't something I've talked about before, but man, this is a topic that's going to be coming up a lot more often.